Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design. Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
This is where the fun begins.
What is up, everybody?
But we've seen this movie before.
What's Sam Pittman known for?
I don't know.
Exactly. Is the Arkansas athletic program cursed? But you never know what the loudest mouth in the fan base and his wild band of misfits are going to say.
I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
It's time to step inside the Hawg Pen with your host, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton.
Jesse, I don't know if we can hear you. Well, Jesse, as you're figuring out your technical difficulties, I'll go ahead and say welcome to Inside the Hawg Pen. Obviously, I'm not Razorback Zach, and he is not Marcus MC Carlton. I'm Dylan Madden. I'm D Matt from the Man Cave, and you just had a look at Jesse Thurman, a.k.a. the beard behind the boards. Just want to welcome y'all to the show. Thank y'all for joining us. And it's football time in Arkansas, guys. It's a great time to be here, and it's something that everybody's been looking for. And I just want to say thank y'all for coming back and surviving this summer with us. We know it's been a hot one. Just kind of want to just thank y'all for coming because I haven't seen y'all in a while, so I just want to make sure y'all are with us. Jesse, are you with us?
Am I with you this time?
Oh, here he is.
There we go. There we go. I went to hit music and StreamYard just crashed on me, unfortunately. Before I hit go live, Zach disappeared. The gremlins are in the technology.
I ran off to go take care of my dog or whatever, but we're back. We are here.
We've got Zach coming back in now. He should be here any minute. While we're waiting on Zach, let's hit the.
This is exactly what happens when MC lets us run wild. Just FYI.
Yes. Let's hit the comments and the Cam Production live fan feedback. Let's see what everybody's saying. Brandon, we're eventually going to talk to you once we get all this straightened out. Loki always coming in with a witty comment there. There we go.
Okay, now we get the show started. Holy crap. Sorry about that. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. I'm Razorback Zach.
That is Razorback Zach. Right
I
there.
am Razorback Zach.
That is Razorback Zach.
From the Central Arkansas Hawg Pen. I apologize for my delay because let me turn this off.
I was about to say I was about to send you a message.
I'm trying to get logged back in here. My internet crashed about 30 seconds before the show went live, so I apologize about my delay, but here I am. Hope everybody had a great week. Obviously, that is not MC, obviously.
Wrong way.
Over here. See, I don't even know my directions. That is D-Man from the Man Cave. All right, now that we've got all this discombobulated, of course, you know the beard behind the boards, Jesse Thurman. Wow. Okay, so MC is out tonight with a family emergency. Our thoughts and prayers are with him. So let's get this off. I'm off my game today. So because my internet crashed, I'm kind of off my game. Hey, for those of you that don't know, I was on the Dave Ellswick show about a week ago, Friday, and had a complete blast. If y'all haven't seen it, go to 101.1 The Answer Facebook page. The stream is up at the 3-hour, 5-minute mark is where you can find me. I'm on for an entire hour, and I will be back next Friday, August 23rd, 10 a.m., and MC is going to be joining us by phone. So we'll have the entire crew of ITHP on the Dave Ellswick show coming up August 23rd, 10 a.m. in the Central Arkansas area. By the next event, August 29th. I have no time yet because we're still figuring it out. But join us at the War Memorial Golf Course for the first game of the season. It is the new Harris Made Chef Services tailgate and the Harris Made Chef Services tailgate show live from War Memorial Stadium there on the golf course. I don't have times yet, but as soon as I get those, I will let you guys know. And then finally, my favorite time of the year, September 28th, 6 to 9 p.m., the Little Oktoberfest. This year, benefiting Casting for Recovery, having to do with women in their fight with breast cancer. So that's going to be a great event. I've always loved doing it. It's our 4th year in a row. So there is that as our 4th year. It's in a new location. It's not at War Memorial anymore. It's at the Rusty Tractor Vineyard over off Colonel Glen. And they've got get your tickets now. $75 for VIP tickets, early entry. And you get a special like green room type thing for special brews that are only in that room. $40 general admission, $25 if you're a designated driver like me, and then $10 on-site parking. I know it's crazy this year, but always looking forward to Little Oktoberfest. Okay, so
I like beer.
You do like beer, dude. You, on the other hand, are about a month away from probably the biggest chapter of your life. So congratulations there.
A month on the day.
A month on the day. You are getting married a month from now. So big props to you, dude.
Already got my wedding ring.
And he's already locked in. Oh, man.
She has got me early.
Hey, better late. Never mind. Just kidding. So that being said, we got a big show today. We're going to talk about this NIL deal that's going on or not going on with this battle between Saracen Casino and Oaklawn Casino down in Hot Springs. That's going to be fun to watch. And then we're going to dive deep into the defensive side of the ball. Kind of nervous. D-Mad, you and I have got on agreement on our biggest concern there. And then my favorite part of the show this season, it's a brand new segment. We called it Inside Opening the Hawg Pen last week, but we've got a new name for it this week, thanks to a couple of fans. So stick around for that. So let's jump right into this. And D-Mad, MC's been diving deep into this all week. This NIL situation with the University of Arkansas and Saracen Casino. How concerned are you and we'll get Jesse's take on this as well. How concerned are you about the status of the program, knowing that they turned down, somebody in the program had turned down $600,000 a month in NIL funds?
I'm probably at about a 4. I think 5's a little too high, but I think 3's a little too low for me. I think there is a red flag that got waved, and what's his name? Carlton Safa.
Safra, I can't pronounce his name.
Something like that. He he has shed some light as a whistleblower onto a problematic situation going on. And I think personally, I'm more of a Saracen guy myself. But that's just me. And ever since he's come out, he's a CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, I believe.
Right.
And so his job is to make Saracen look good. I mean, that's what his job is.
Yeah, but I mean, bringing this to light, though, you have, and I get competition with casinos. I mean, it's a competition. It's a dog eat dog world, no matter what you do. But Oaklawn has come out and publicly said, we've stopped this bill, but it's not because of the NIL money going to the university. And I'm not going to get into the politics about it.
Yeah, I just, like I was saying, he is supposed to make Saracen look good. His whole job, that's his whole job. And it is a competition in dog eat dog world. I think a lot of the stuff that he's bringing up are very valid points. And it is brought to light that there's a Oaklawn person within the football program. So at that point, you've got to be able to weasel that out. And I think Saracen said that they're trying to push a bill out, and then Oaklawn is obviously blocking it because they don't want to be overshined. And it doesn't make any sense why they don't want to be overshined whenever you have Saracen that's been marketing hot and heavy for the past 2-3 years. Like, they've had their name on the center field logo, I believe, wasn't it, Zach? In baseball?
No, it's
either way, their name has
it
been
was behind
everywhere.
home plate. It was that little TV behind home plate.
Gotcha. But like, their name has been everywhere, and they've been working in the forefront with the University of Arkansas. So I think that it's going to solve itself personally. And then the money's going in two different directions as it is. One's going to the Razorback Foundation, one's going to NIL. So I think it's going to solve itself. I don't think it's going to be anything that we need to just like pull the panic alarm on. I think it's just going to be probably about a couple months, and then something will be found out about it.
Right. Hey, by the way, folks, hang with us. We're having some technical difficulties on our end, so we may get booted off air. D-Matt, I did not mean to interrupt you a few minutes ago. I said, I got delayed, so I didn't mean to cut you off there. But I do have a question for you. Okay, so Oaklawn came out and publicly said, hey, we're stopping this bill from being passed simply because of the other half. And like I said, we're not going to get into the politics of it, of this bill. But then they turn around and we find out before they even announce, thank you, Coach Sam Pittman, that $500,000 has gone to the foundation versus the NIL. It's not a really good look if you think about it. I mean, Kyle, the PR guy up at the university, probably is pulling his hair out right now.
Is that because that Sam Pittman's going to be in front of the camera in the next couple months?
Well, then there's that too.
Okay.
But I mean, let's talk to the fans a minute. Let me pull Jesse in here just a second. Hey, Jesse, you got your mic on you?
What's going on? I am glad you are here. I have added myself to the blooper reel with this.
I am trying. Whoa, easy there. I tried to get back on, but let me ask you, how concerned are you about this NIL crap going on around the football team?
Seeing what these guys are making at other schools, because other schools are our competition, I'm at a 9 on concern level. I'm sounding the alarm. I'm getting my ski mask out and going to my local bank because
this is why his face is not on the TV right now.
Hey, now he's probably
quarterbacks making millions. You got, and granted, a lot of it is his name, but you have a second string quarterback in a neighboring state probably making what a majority of our team combined is making in NIL.
We don't talk about the Mannings.
He is referring to Arch Manning, backup quarterback for the University of Texas, making $2.2 million in NIL money just because of his last name. But, and let's see. Do we got any comments as far as the fans go? I mean, has the fans been talking about this?
think we've had some Twitter interactions with a poll we had put out a couple days ago.
All right, let's see what we got.
Let's see. Let me scroll back up here. I know we had Garrett Ray. He said he's kind of on the fence about it.
Right.
We've had a couple of guys that are at an 8 and a 9.
So they're kind of right in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's either right in the middle or they're at an 11. We got Drake McKinney here at an 11. We've got B guard 87 at a 7, and that's basically a lot of people is either they're over freaking out or they're kind of in the middle.
Okay, but D-Mad, let me throw this question at you. Given the state of the program the last 7 years, do you really think they're kind of overreaching a little bit at this point?
The fans?
Yeah. Given that, take into account the state of the program here, and I mean, you can go as far back as the dark ages, is what I like to call. You've got to be concerned with where it is now. I mean, I got to side with some of the fans on this one, though. What do you think?
So, at the state of our program, we haven't really been nationally relevant since Brett Bielema. Let's be honest. And Brett kind of had us at a top 25, and that's about it. The last time we were ever relevant, I was in high school. That was during BMFP. And if we all sit here and think about it, during that whole span of recruiting, we had one coach who out-recruited every single coach since Bobby Petrino. And everybody's going to hate when I say this. Chad Morris has been the best recruiter since Bobby Petrino.
I'm gonna caveat on that and say he's the best recruiter but worst coach.
Yes. So
the guy could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman wearing white gloves. Let's just face the facts there.
I don't know what type of used car he was selling, but he sold the hell out of it. But like, I think. Just looking at the state of the program and just kind of taking it all into account, if you had let's just take Ole Miss as an example. Ole Miss has been nationally relevant pretty much since Bobby Petrino was at Arkansas, and they had a few down years with their offensive line head coach. Weird, that's kind of a weird subject, but they've gotten to the point now where they're nationally relevant. Everybody's thinking they're a top 10 team, and they're trying to pour as much money into their NIL as possible. It's hard in a Mississippi type of state, but if Arkansas was nationally relevant like Mississippi or Ole Miss was for this duration, I'd be willing to bet we'd be pouring in millions and millions of dollars of NIL money, just like the basketball team has done. And honestly, so is the baseball team, but nobody really talks about that.
Well, because I mean they're relevant every year.
Exactly.
They win consistently. But you're talking about other programs, okay? And again, this might have something to do with the coach and the staff. But let's look at Texas A&M for example. $30 million in NILs for that number one recruiting class a few years ago, and the best they did was 8-5.
So that's a different subject.
7-5.
That is called oil money. That is because you remember they had something come out in the news that Saudi Arabia was starting to pay them too, because they just had more money than God because of all the oil that's in the area.
I haven't heard that, but that's pretty good. It bugs me because.
I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
How many boosters donates the exact amount of money it would take to get the head coach of the football team fired at halftime?
I mean,
the exact number.
You gotta be sucking at that point.
Screw writing on the wall. That's right in your face.
Right. That's not like, hey, we're going to do it at the end. And because that's the thing is these programs do not wait until the end of the season to fire coaches anymore. They'll fire you in the middle of the season. 2 games in, 3 games in. They're going to fire you if you don't produce a win.
I think I went over this in the basketball season that our NIL money is not that far off of the national landscape.
No, and we need to revisit that at some point.
But I think our NIL is not like we have a lot higher NIL than people think. We have a lot more of general revenue than people want to admit because we have a whole state. A lot of these teams that are in our states or in our conference, they're having to battle with other teams in their states. And save the LSUs, the Alabamas, and the Georgias. Save those three because those are the national programs. We're still really competitive.
You're gonna have to have Texas and Oklahoma in there.
I don't recognize Texas.
I mean, they're part of the conference now, dude. You have to. Hey, I'm right there with you. Look at here, right over my shoulder, baby. Beat Texas.
I got a shirt that I need to wear. It says 41-21. Welcome to the big leagues with the horns down on it.
41-23 from 2021.
I'll find it during the break. Don't worry.
But I know we're coming up on a break here in just a few minutes, but to put a cap on this is not letting you. So what? We're gonna go to break. On the other side of the break, we're gonna talk about the defensive side of the ball. You're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this.
Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
It's time to step back inside the Hawg Pen to the Mix Design Studios.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. Whoop. Sorry about that. What's up, everybody? Welcome back into Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Razorback Zach, D-Mad pinch hitting for MC tonight. He is out with a family emergency. And that's the shirt, dude. I remember those shirts from right after we beat Texas in 21. And I've got my Beat Tech. That's the one I bought for that game. So, and I will be wearing it again this year. So we talked about the offensive side of the ball last week, and we kind of voiced our opinion with all the new pieces there. But there's some new pieces on the defensive side that I want to look at too. But I want to start out with your biggest concern, and Jesse, we'll get you too if you're up. D-Mad, where do you see our biggest weakness on defense right now?
So we have two big question marks, in my opinion. Our defensive back room is pretty solid. We have zero idea what's coming from the linebacker position because we only had one person returning from last year from the linebacker room. I'm very nervous. My biggest concern is the defensive line. As most of you know, games are won on the defensive or the one at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And I have a bad feeling that our defensive line might get pushed around. And if we get pushed around, we have Landon Jackson, and yes, he is a all-conference player.
6'7", 280. That dude's a beast.
That's a big boy.
That's a big dude.
And I kind of made the comment before the show, that's almost offensive line territory, how big that dude is.
I mean,
but I'm just concerned about the defensive line because, I know we have some returning seniors. I just don't know if they're going to get pushed around or not. And if we get pushed around, it doesn't matter how bad our linebacker room is.
Yeah, my biggest thing is, and Jesse's fixing to blow a gasket when I say this, Hudson Clark.
He's not that bad.
He got exposed last year. He got beat.
He went to a new position last year.
Zach, be nice to Hudson.
I'm not saying he's a terrible player. I would never say anybody is a terrible player, except a few.
Hey, I will say this: at least you're not dunking on him to get likes and retweets on Twitter. I will say that. That's a general. Observation you have about him. You're not just trying to get.
But I've got film to back it up, though.
I just think he is a true safety, I feel like. And if you've played your entire life at one position, even if you just change like from one position to the other, but it's a very similar position,
right?
You still got a lot of learning to do. No, I feel like he's a great safety, is what I think.
Well, yeah, if he's playing, zone coverage, he's a ball hawk. He's great, But when you're playing man to man, he struggles and gets burnt by these wide receivers all the time. And I am by myself. Holy crap, that scared the hell out of me.
I had to adjust my chair. I'm sorry.
And it just, yes, but the linebacker core too. Also, I'm not too concerned about the defensive line so much as I am the linebackers. Okay, the linebackers is because we got a whole new linebacker crew. But keep your eye on Xavier Story. That is Jesse's dude. Jesse, you got us, buddy?
I'm back here hooping and hollering behind the scenes. That is my breakout transfer of the year.
Wow.
I've got Danico Slaughter as the breakout transfer of the year.
That's another one.
That's my number 2.
I can get behind both of those. And like we said last week, this publicity that T. Will is getting, defensive coordinator Travis Williams is getting, you can't put money on. You can't put a dollar amount on at all.
It's really easy to sell to a kid. Hey, do you want to be on Pat McAfee? It's really easy to sell to a kid.
It is. It really is. But
and that's honestly that's what Muss tried to do. Muss was trying to be somebody that got national attention. He did it to leave. And who knows, T. Will could be doing it for the same reasons. We don't know the guy. But I feel like he's more genuine about it.
I don't get that sense from him.
I don't either.
But at some point, Arkansas's defense is going to have to stop somebody. Okay?
Our defense was really good last year.
Yeah, Loki says after last year, the best defensive player is the one who can stop the bleeding.
Our defense was very underrated last year. And I saw a stat. So we were ranked 132nd in passing.
We were dead last.
Dead last under Barry Odom. I'm not throwing shade at him, but hey, you got to wear what's stuck to you.
But here's the thing, though, D-Man.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Marcus Woodson comes in, and he takes our 132nd ranked passing defense and puts them at 30.
Yeah.
Bam, overnight.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude. Look, we're having technical difficulties all over the place tonight.
It's what happens when MC lets us go wild.
Yeah. Hey, like I said last week, and it's been professionally proven, he is legitimately the glue that holds this thing together. Because look what happens when he's not on the show. Everything falls apart. But, we were dead last under Barry Odom on passing defense. But considering the talent level on those teams, you really couldn't tell. For the most part, you couldn't tell.
The offense was covering a lot of the defense's flaws.
Exactly.
And last year, the defense covered a lot of the offensive flaws. We had, 5 games that were one-score games that we lost?
Mm-hmm.
The difference between this year and last year is going to be in the offensive coordinating room. I feel like our defense kind of let go of the rope after the Mississippi State game. It's really hard mentally to get over the fact that you gave up 7 points and still lost. And
I remember that post game, and I think you were part of it.
I was. That was a long post game.
But the game felt like it was long because
I was at the air show.
Let me jump in here real quick. And Mark comment on that. Time of possession is what killed our defense last year. They had the talent, they had the coaching, but you can't play 40 minutes of a 60-minute game and keep the same energy as you did the first 10. When you don't have time to breathe or get a drink on the sideline, you're gassed.
If you're 3 and out every time, the offense is going to crumble and the defense isn't going to work.
So let me ask you guys this, okay? Because that's very interesting that you brought that up, Jesse. With this Bobby Petrino offense, can the defense keep up with how fast this offense is going to score or supposedly going to score? Because you're going to run into that same issue, except for 3 and outs. These guys are going to keep scoring. Is the defense going to have time to take a breath before they're back out on the field?
Is that to me or Jesse?
Open floor.
I'm just going to say this. We're not going to see very many 3 and outs. We will see 3 and outs. This isn't going to be the same Kendall Briles offense. This offense is going to be very, very complex. Like, if we start scoring, because I remember one of the last couple of years, there was a stat that said it was like drives for less than a minute that ended in a touchdown. And there was 2 teams that were on top of that list. It was Arkansas and Oregon. And Arkansas was on the very top of that list over Oregon. And I know with that, it takes the pressure off the defense. Defense might give up a touchdown, but then they're going to start playing looser because they know the offense is going to have their back. And it's going to put a little bit more pressure on the offense. But with Bobby Petrino at the helm, I can put all the pressure on the offense and feel very okay with that.
Jesse, if you'll do me a favor, put Loki's comment up there. D-Man, I'll let you take this one.
Loki, why are you at work right now?
I mean, he's got a point, though. In a sense. Because that's for another show. But, Jesse, what are your thoughts, man?
I'm worried that there are going to be a lot of 3 and outs, but not the 3 and outs that you think of. I'm afraid with the speed of Satania, the height and ability of Broden and Armstrong running his routes, I'm afraid it's going to be 3 plays and we've scored and it's time for the defense to get back on the field.
Makes sense. I mean, but again, just like the offense, there's a lot of unknowns with this side of the ball. Okay? As a team, the team as a whole, we have no idea what these guys are going to look like. All right?
See, I feel like the biggest unknown is I feel like the biggest unknown is on the defensive side of the ball, on the defensive line. I don't feel like our defensive line got enough pressure last year on passing situations. Landon Jackson came out of his shell against Alabama. But besides that, I think we weren't very high on the sack leaders. Also, we had a lot of teams that were dinking and dunking on us too, like 3-step drops. And it's really hard to get a pressure on a 3-step drop. But at the same point, our offense has to take care of the defense and vice versa. The defense fell out last year at the end of the year because they were worn out. They were playing the entire game, like Jesse said, and it didn't matter what happened, we were still going to lose. It's a very hard mental block to get over.
Oh, yeah.
For you to know that it doesn't matter what you do. Like, if you give up 1 touchdown in a game, you should win by 3 scores. In today's college football, unless you're Iowa. But we're not Iowa.
We're not Iowa.
If you give up 1 touchdown, you should win by at least 3 scores. I 100% believe Bobby Petrino makes at least 1 touchdown difference in every game we played last year.
Yeah. Now you're saying if Bobby P was the offensive coordinator last year?
If Bobby Petrino was the offensive coordinator last year, I feel like we have at least 1 more touchdown in every single game. I believe that much in Bobby Petrino, especially when it comes to him being just offensive coordinator.
Right.
Some people are just better as coordinators than head coaches. And Bobby Petrino was a hell of a head coach.
You know, we talk. Go ahead, D-Man. I'm sorry.
Just to finish, Bobby P, if he can just focus on looking at the defense and saying, okay, this is how we're going to pick this team apart, instead of having to worry about all the head coaching duties.
Well, and one of a couple of points that nobody has mentioned yet is the fact that Bobby P took an FCS school, came into Fayetteville, and nearly kicked our butts.
And that team was very low ranked before he got there too.
Yes.
And then they went to the playoff system they have.
The other thing too that you got to remember is that the season last year could have been a whole lot different. Okay.
Hand up. I was on the Enos train. My bad, guys. My bad.
I don't know how you could be on that because
I watched him call a game against Michigan and got excited.
That was the Big Ten.
It was Michigan.
True. Who's now on a 2-year postseason ban, but we're not getting into that.
I would be on it too. I would trade a 2-year postseason ban for a championship.
I mean,
not going to take away the championship. I'll still wear the ring.
True. That is true. But I mean, here's the other thing I want to throw at you guys, and Jesse, you can jump in here too. Sam Pittman and his staff is known for taking their foot off the pedal, and I brought this up last week. They're known for taking their foot off the pedal. Do you think with Bobby P in control of the offense that any of that happens this year? And I know we're supposed to be talking about defense, but
I'm 100% sure that Sam has given the keys to the Ferrari to Bobby Petrino. I feel like our offensive side of the ball is not going to be the problem this year. The problem with the offense last year is the fact that there was a lot of plays. I'm getting roasted right now in the comments section.
You are,
but that's fine. Hey,
I'm glad it's just
tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. I bet you won't. But our players weren't bad. Our coaching was bad. Our play calling was bad. We had receivers in the same areas.
Okay, now wait a minute.
Okay, the whole KJ thing that you think, I'm just going to put it this way. That wouldn't have happened under Kendall Briles.
Body language speaks volumes, though. I'm just going to say that.
Kendall Briles wouldn't have had KJ acting that way.
True.
That was Enos. Sorry.
Thought you were on the Enos train there, buddy boy.
Hey, I'm wrong. I can say I'm wrong.
Jesse, what do you think, dude?
I think the Enos train derailed and D-Mad jumped ship.
I sure did. I did it in a heartbeat too. It was after the Who Cares University or Western Carolina. Is that what it was? No, it was Kent State, the one that I started, like, my red flag started going, huh?
Yeah, that was the one with me, you, and Loki went to that game, and you started seeing it.
Yeah, I was like, hey, Western Carolina, whatever, we weren't looking at it too well. And then it happened again at Kent State. I was like, this ain't good. This is not good.
Well, I mean, but still, so in I know we're coming up on one of our last breaks for the segment, right, Jesse? We're coming up on a break.
Yeah, we're coming up on a break here in a second, but we got to read Loki's comment. The Enos train is the Polar Express.
Yes. Loki coming in clutch. I love it. I love it. Hey, folks, this is probably going to be a shortened show because of all the technical difficulties we've got. But stick with us. You guys are doing great. D-Mad, to wrap this up, put a bow on it. There's a lot of unknowns with this defense. A lot of unknowns. But we do know one thing. Hudson Clark cannot play man coverage. I mean, no. In all reality, though, I mean, we're not going to know until they start hitting somebody else besides each other.
We'll get a good look at UAPB. That'll give us an idea.
I just don't think we're going to see all that much.
We're not. But that'll tell us where this team's focus is. Because all that 4-8 crap, it's back there. That ain't going forward. Like we aren't the same team today that we were last year. Like this team's going to be different. Like the way they have to carry themselves. Like I know, as much as you know this, I know this. Bobby Petrino wasn't a part of that 4-8 squad. He ain't going to be a part of that 4-8 squad.
But that is going to do it for the defensive side of the ball. We are all off of our game tonight, and these technical glitches are driving me nuts. We're going to go ahead and go to break. On the other side of the break is the new segment everybody stick around for, because some of you will know why we've named this segment the way we did. You're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back for our final segment right after this.
Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
It's time to step back inside the Hawg Pen to the Mix Design Studios.
All right, welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. And all these technical glitches, holy hell, y'all! This has been one wild night for sure. And I do apologize for sounding all over the place, because from the get-go, my internet crashed, and then our streaming service is doing something funky. But hey, major props to Jesse, the beard behind the board, holding it down and keeping things together. So, Jesse, you're doing a fantastic job, dude. Okay, so this is usually where we say we're going to open up the Hawg Pen. However, I've renamed it thanks to 3 different fans, and here's why. Jesse, roll that beautiful bean footage. Ability and he has the opportunity to have some D-like D-Mad-like qualities. My executive producer is dying right now.
Yeah.
By the way. Okay, so for those of you that watched the show last week, that still cracks me up every time I watch it. For those of you that watched the show last week, that was me completely freaking out and losing every sense of my brain power. And so here we go. I got to give props to Carolyn Williams, Sam Jones, and Loki DeWitt, because we have now named this segment Hawg Tour. So, Hawg Tour, we go. Jesse, you got these bad boys lined up. Fire them off.
All right. I've got them lined off, if it'll cooperate. Starting off, we have royalty in the house. Casey Sutton.
Casey! I talked to her, by the way. And big shout out. Like I told you, she has kicked cancer's ass not once, but twice. That is why she's considered ITHP royalty. And I spoke to her earlier today. She is doing great. We will see her at the Harris Mate Chef Services tailgate.
All right. And there's coming in with fire every week, Sam Jones. Biggest concern with our defense is the last few seasons they've been like a fisherman with amnesia. They forgot to tackle in the box.
I'm glad I didn't take a drink to that, but he's got a point.
I don't know. I feel like the start of the year is different from the end of last year. That's all I got to say.
Coming in next, we got Mama Linda in the house.
The other half of ITHP royalty.
Then we got Chuck here. I've been a Hawg fan my whole life, and I've always believed that some people at the U of A just don't want us to be an elite football team. Let's hear what y'all got to say about that one.
I've heard that growing up so many times too, and it's funny how that just kind of surfaces everywhere. Like when I was a kid growing up, my school got a new football stadium, and the local companies didn't get together to sponsor it. One company said, "Hey, we'll sponsor it, but we have to be the exclusive sponsor." So it's kind of one of those things where I don't understand why companies can't work together. They have to be the savior or whatever. But it's just one of those things that really irritates me about companies sometimes, that they won't work together unless their name is the top name. Whatever, get out of here. But I agree with Chuck. Zach,
you're muted.
Sorry, I'm dealing with some I'm trying to work behind the scenes and help Jesse with these technical glitches here. No, and you know, this tracks all the way back from the Houston Nut days. Okay, that we've been mediocre, you know. So, I mean, I've got to side with Chuck here. There's got to be a couple of people up there going, we're a basketball and a baseball school or a track school.
All right, coming up next, Loki. Which Texas do you hate worse, the Longhorns or the Aggies?
What?
Not even close. Not even close. Evil Orange Empire.
Why would you ask? And I love you, buddy. I love you, buddy.
Hey.
But why would you ask such an asinine question?
Tuck, Texas.
I'm so glad that came out the right way.
Hey, I'm sorry, before we move on, did y'all ever hear about the radio call about Texas? There was a radio station back when Arkansas was playing Texas one year, and I forgot what game Texas was playing, but I don't think it was against Arkansas. And the radio station called into the athletic director's office talking about how they accidentally put an S or another S on the end of Texas. And the athletic director believed it and started freaking out. He's like, well, we can actually put a $ sign on it to make it look better. And started freaking out a little bit more, and eventually got the hood pulled over and was like, this is a radio station out of Little Rock. And basically just trolled Texas before trolling was fun.
Well, but, I mean, it's Texas, dude. Now, I mean, there are fans, but the needle's always going to point to Texas. I mean,
as the Texas head coach said, Arkansas fans hate Texas more than they hate themselves.
Chuck had a follow-up to his comment a minute ago. It's like, as long as there's butts in the seats and they're making the money, they don't care if we win. I agree 100%.
I'm pretty sure that was a Jeff Long motto right there.
Oh, God, don't even, that man will always be known for taking Coke out of Razorback Stadium.
Now, for all the fans watching, what I do is I kind of earmark your comments throughout the show so that we can rapid fire them here. So I'm not picking on anybody or leaving anybody out. I just have them saved, and I roll down them in order, and we react to them because I've got another Chuck comment. So don't think I'm only focusing on Chuck. But he had another good one. Talking about Hudson Clark. He's a better safety than DB. He's better when he reads the quarterback than covering man. That's pretty much what y'all said.
It's very hard for him to turn his hips as quickly as other players do. So that's what makes him a better coverage corner. He can kind of keep everything in front of him and be able to read where the quarterback's about to go and anticipate it. His anticipation is off the charts.
Zach, I'm going to let you take this one.
All right, hit me with it. Brad Staten, the party can start now. I've made it. NASA, Air Force, sit on down there, Air Force. Sit on down. Just kidding, dude.
I went there today.
Dylan, this one's on you. I can't read it with a straight face.
I can't help. I'm out.
So technical difficulties result in premature detonations, or so I have heard. I don't know what he's talking about. I heard they moved those problems down to South Carolina.
Good save. Good save! Oh! D-Man coming in with the save.
Then Brad was replying to him in the comments. Thought that was a pretty funny one there.
Hey, so I got a question, and like I said, we're on the tail end of the show here, but the guys and I have been talking, and we're rolling around this idea, but I want to get the fans' early feedback. And Jesse, please don't come through the computer and choke me when I do this, but what do you guys think about ITHP merchandise? Would y'all be interested in purchasing shirts, koozies, hats, trinkets of, valuable nature, things like that? Because we're talking about, starting our own merch line thanks to Mix Design Company. And again, this is just premature. It's still in the planning stages, but I wanted to go ahead and get you guys' take on that. So, in conclusion here, Jesse, next week.
You're cutting it short, Zach. We still got a couple more to get to.
Oh, do we? Oh, my bad, dude.
The music stopped. That's what stopped him. Cut the music back on.
My bad. My bad.
The music's been giving me fits. It won't work on my end. It's my bad, guys.
I got you. Hang on. Okay, maybe not.
I think the music. There it is.
There we go.
I told you, we're having technical difficulties all over the place.
Okay, this is them coming for me. So if UAB gives them or UAPB, peanut butter, whatever you want to call them, gives them a run for their money, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
Wait, did you just call them peanut butter?
Yes, sir. That's a shout out to Cousin Shane on that SEC podcast.
We're going to get kicked off the air. Oh.
I
Brad coming at you there too, D-Mac.
I don't know what he means by this, but we really aren't the same team, are we? Like, we have a lot of the same players, but players don't lose games, coaches do.
But it starts at the top, though, dude.
At the coaches.
And it trickles down.
The coaches lose the game.
I mean, case in point. But, okay, back up a minute. I guarantee you, Dan Enos didn't tell KJ to Superman at the 2-yard line against A&M.
However, let me rebuttal that.
Okay.
What led up to that? All this stuff during the game, you're telling me that we couldn't have done anything else the rest of the game that wouldn't have put us into a better position?
I mean, we were in a position to win it.
Yeah, but we should have been in a better position. The game shouldn't have been that close.
Cam Little, anywhere else. Here's the thing. Anywhere else, that kick is good, and Arkansas wins the game.
That wasn't last year. That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Was that 2 years ago? I thought it was last year, too.
No, I think Bobby.
They're all starting to run together.
Bobby Petrino absolutely curb stomped us last year. It's funny when Petrino gets that chip on his shoulder. By the way, shout out Niall Davis. But beside the point. But it's really funny what happens when Bobby Petrino gets that chip on his shoulder. He seems to focus in and be able to kick some ass. That's all I gotta say. And he is very motivated right now. Go ahead. Sorry, Jesse.
Oh, you're good. We got 2 more, and then we'll hit final thoughts, guys. Brandon coming in said we need a shirt with the slobber and hog on it that says that, referring to Hawg Tua. And then Casey says, "Yes, sir," on the merch.
Okay. So positive feedback so far.
So one more. I got to put it up there.
I'm going to let D-Mad take this one because
I can explain what happened with the I'm guessing he's talking about the Superman dive into the end zone. With the words of someone on the Hog staff that will remain anonymous. I don't know.
I mean, sums that up perfectly.
Yeah.
So that is the new segment, Hawg Tua. Dylan, you don't like Hawg Tua, do you? You were very against it.
I'm going to be honest. It's growing. It's growing on me.
Aha. See? You like it. All right, final thoughts before we get out of here tonight, D-Mad.
if you look at the difference between Dan Enos and Bobby Petrino, you can see, and our schedule is a lot lighter than it has been in a very long time. You will understand we will have more than 6 wins this year.
Okay, I've got to, Jesse, I'm going to hijack your thing for a minute. Dan Yoakum says, does anybody else think Cam Little is overrated? Did he ever make a game-winning field goal?
I mean, that LSU one where he grittied down the field as a freshman, but I don't know anything.
I mean, he did win the starting job as a rookie for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so, I mean, he might have. I don't know. Possibly.
No, I've been getting hated on pretty well today. So
hey, better you than me this week because it's going to pick up again next week for me when MC comes back. But final thought. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out with us through all these technical glitches. It has been a wild ride, but we got through it thanks to you fans. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow us everywhere. And don't forget, we got a new podcast out too, The Curse of Arkansas. MC dives deep, and he takes it and traces it all the way back to the 69 shootout. Pinch hitting for MCs for D-Mad from the Man Cave. I'm Razorback Zach, alongside Jesse, the beard behind the board, Thurman. You've been listening to an all-new episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Listen anytime on your favorite podcast provider. And be sure to follow us on all our social network channels.